I am actually a MikroTik mom 2007 in Sharm el-Sheikh. We were in Egypt. That story is long and winding and... Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there. That story is very long and winding because Nomis was one of my teachers. Yes. Now we all look old. And there was a very nice guy called Sergei who was taught us firewalls. And that's how we started. And evidence of that, here's my 2007 Moom t-shirt. So when we got the invite, I just said, you know what, it's time to renew my membership, literally. So basically, I'm a project manager who does IP projects. You can see what I've studied. I worked as a network engineer. I'm now a project manager. I'm an Amazon Web Services partner. I handle ESET for antivirus enterprise, MDMon for mail services. I'm a .ke registrar, rather my company. We also are US based. We have an office there or some function there. Pulseway, for those of you who know remote management, Komodo One, remote management, Vector Item, that is IT asset management. I like home automation, hence the geek term, and enterprise security. But more than that, I am a husband, a father, a mentor, and a friend. So feel free. I also attended the AWS, Amazon Web Services reInvent conference last year. And, oops, how do you get this going? Yep. And interestingly, I found on the archives of the Moom photos, that's my 2007 photo there in Sharm el-Sheikh. And these are my invent tags for last year. So, because of the cloud, and my subject is Microsoft in the cloud, we are able to work across the board. We've got projects we've done in Dubai, in Comoros. We have partners in the US, partners in Latvia, back home there, in Kenya, Ethiopia, we have one now. Nigeria, we have friends that I actually met in the Moom 2007. And soon we are heading into Ghana, basically to partner for projects. My philosophy is just 3 Fs. It has to be future-proof, feature-proof, and foolproof. If your technology can't match that, I'm not interested. Okay, moving on. So before there was a cloud, there was MikroTik. Most of you people know the history. MikroTik was there before Amazon came into being. And as you can see, I'm heading in the Amazon direction. And that was the logo. That's the logo I saw, and that's the company I followed in 2007. We wanted to root the world. And when we came back, we rooted the world. Because the ISP I worked for, we made links 20, 30 kilometers long. We changed our routers, but I left that. I went to start my own business. And my business basically is built on MikroTik routers, access points, fiber connections, the works. On the other side, lately, in the same vein, I got a call from Amazon. True story, because I had tried to join Google for the cloud product and Microsoft, but they kept giving me competency questions. You know, you need $1,000+ to join us, you need this, and it's true. It's on their site. But I got, how many people have Amazon accounts? I mean, you buy stuff from Amazon. Yeah, one day an advert came at the corner of the screen asking you, try the free tier. And I clicked on it, and I moved my account to Amazon. After a year, they called me. They said, we've noticed you've been playing with our EC2 instances, and therefore, would you like to be an Amazon Web Services partner? When you get such calls, you usually put the phone down because you don't believe somebody from there is calling you here to ask you to join them. But I did. And last year I got an invite. I was in Las Vegas for their reInvent conference. We were only techies, about 60,000 attendees from all over the world. It shaped the way I look at the future. And that's why I'm talking about the cloud today. These are just basic stats of Amazon. In reality, the size of Amazon is bigger than the size of its competition put together. And I don't want to go into many details because there are people who may be fans of other cloud providers, but I respect them all, and you'll understand why at the end. As you can see, Amazon is comprised of 33 availability zones across 12 geographic regions, and they've added some more, and the services will continue. Now, MikroTik. If you notice these tags, these slides have got the best in class tag at the top. That's to tell you, you're using the best in class solution. Don't ever be told that, oh, it's just a small white box that does a little thing. No. MikroTik is a Swiss Army knife. And I try to be non-technical in all my presentations. It's you to choose what you want to use it for. And I've chosen to go into the cloud. So what MikroTik has done over the years, they added the IP cloud feature on their routers. I used it on Cloud Core routers. I've used it on their normal routers for the DDNS updates and the timing and everything. Then they launched the Cloud Core product, which is a very high-powered router. It's enterprise grade. And for 2 of my sites, which are out of the country, they run Cloud Cores. They do everything. Basically, I sleep well at night, and I read notifications on my mail, and that's about it. Then they decided to go one step ahead and go into the cloud. And they launched the cloud-hosted router, which you had today at the very beginning. And incidentally, if you go in by Winbox, it looks exactly the same. What am I saying? I'll show you just now how you can get your own Cloud Core router up and running so that you don't fear the cloud and don't fear applying the cloud to your enterprise, to your business, to your home setup, to your funky home automation solution, to all that you need to put out, because the future is in the cloud. Don't we agree? Or it's only me who's convinced myself that the future is in the crowd? It's in that crowd, not the cloud. The future is in the cloud, whether you like it or not. A wise man said that technology will either pass through you or pass with you. The choice is yours. Okay, basically, MikroTik is home in the cloud. Just note the red lines. It's at home in the cloud, which means you can run router services in the cloud directly. Secondly, most of you are very proud of your data centers. You know that nice gray totem cabinet with your core routers and everything? You're all very happy. When you wake up in the morning, you come and greet your machines. Good morning, Cisco. Hey, Juniper. What's up? Ethernet cable. Yes, all of you we are all geeks here. We know the feeling. You open the door, the AC hits you, and you say to yourself, I have arrived, and this is my kingdom, and these are my servants, and we are here to party. Guess what? You can mirror that data center online. Higher. You see, most of the times, we've had people talk about dude. They say, oh, dude's the best. Dude's the one. Dude is it. That's my dude. Okay, but dude is talking to you about your network. What it's not telling you is what other people are talking about your network to the world, right? Isn't it so? Dude sits in your network to tell you about your network. What about if Dude told you what the world thought of your network? You get a 360 view, both in and out. Dude in the cloud can tell you what your network is being told out there. And I'll show you. Now, you can start for free, and I put a star there, because I don't think you'll want to remain free for long. You've been told that for a 1 meg link, you can get a free license, right? You had that in the morning for the CHR. For an Amazon EC2 instance, you can get it for free for 1 year. Do I hear a clap? It's free. Free stuff. Who wants free stuff? Now, these are legally free things, no black hats, no pirates, no nothing. MikroTik have already told you that it is possible, and I'm just going to walk you through the Amazon side. 5 simple steps. And by the way, most of the examples are people who have presented in MikroTik MAMs in the past. The Clouds I/O is a very nice demonstration. I ask you to go check the MAM archives, and you'll learn what other people are doing in other areas. That's where the MAM examples, there's Clusters I/O, there's Mark Perez, who has also helped me with my presentation. There is the MikroTik wiki about the CHR, and the MikroTik wiki about the Dude server on a virtual machine. So that information exists. So what you do, set up an Amazon account. It's free, okay? Then spin up an EC2 instance. Try the free micro. It is free, okay? And then you select the CHR AMI, which is the image that you'll install. It is also free. And then you set up the steps. The instructions are there. They are free to follow, okay? And then adjust your security groups, because Amazon gives you security groups, which is their form of stateful firewall. So once you set it up, you need to go in quickly, change the password, lock it down, go to your security groups, remove SSH if you are no good at securing your SSH, put your Winbox, go to your DNS name, put it on your browser, Winbox, a web fig will show up over there, log in, continue with the life. Okay. Any questions up to here? Shall we continue? Okay. Now, this is a case of Dude in the cloud. After doing all those steps, by the way, I only did it like 2 weeks ago. And for reference, you will note, it says here, certain IP address, Safaricom business. So it's not a fake screenshot. It's a real, active screenshot that was made in like 20 minutes from the time I installed the CHR AMI. And that's something you can do. Now, as I was setting up for today, I decided to take a big project whereby I wanted to secure a VPN to an AWS data center. So I'll create one, Literally, I just take 10 instances of a setup, decide to run a database server on this one, Radius server on the other one, etc., for free, yeah? For free. Are we okay? I'm the free guy here. I'm the free guy, giving you free information. So, if you can look at the diagram, you can see there is a virtual private network in here, which is housed in Amazon Web Services. So I got an internet gateway, set it up, put VPN across. The so-called corporate network is my box in the house. And I put my MikroTik router and created a VPN connection between the two. Then today I've learned that I don't have to do all that. I mean, how foolish have I become that somebody gave me free information how not to go this very long route. There was a gentleman who was here in the afternoon, talked about Ethernet over IP. There was the gentleman who had the ISP discussion, talked about it. There was somebody who talked about it before lunch. So definitely I have to go back and review this project, because I can do it for less. And thanks to the free information I've received today, I can do it for free. Okay. This is a real world case. I was talking to the gentleman who was presenting the Simplify, Mr. Ahura. Is he around? Mr. Ahura was presenting the Simplify web interface for their clients. And last year in the MOOM for 2017, yeah, just come, please, have a seat, because this one is relevant to you. In 2017, Mr. Mark Perez, who I graciously had the opportunity to talk to, and the information that is provided here was given by him for free. He just shared what he had in his heart to help. Because he said, if you're going to talk to a MOOM, you do need this info. So I didn't pirate any of this. He gave it to me straight up. And because of that, we'll most likely partner to bring that technology into this region. So let me get started. So here's his profile. This is a real world case, and the product is called ARS. You can actually check it up on ars.net. This is Mark Perez, a wonderful guy. Even despite the time difference, he was able to stay up and give me a talk. You can see he's a co-founder of a network company. He's certified MikroTik. He's been a systems engineer for more than a decade. He's a Bachelor of Science graduate. I mean, he's done a lot. Yet, he started working on MikroTik in 2015. His company is veteran-owned, for those of you who need to know. And their mission is to make simple solutions to help ISPs make their money and provide better services to their subscribers. I am not an ISP, but there you go. The story behind his product was that one day he was going down to get a drink at night. And as he got to the fridge, opened the door, got his drink, as he was heading back up, he noticed he could hear the faint click of keyboard. And when he sneaked into the living room, he saw his son online playing an online game. It was not dangerous stuff. He was just hooked to this, like Minecraft. Maybe he was playing Minecraft for all we know. But he was online playing a game, and there was that faint blue light from a screen, and the boy was really trying not to be caught. But he was caught. So his wife is a systems, is a programmer, and he's an engineer. So they decided to create a product to sort that problem out. So what they did was that they integrated the cloud to control a MikroTik device using the MikroTik CHR. Now you begin to see why I said MikroTik is at home in the cloud. They paired an AWS web services in the cloud with a router OS, which is the CHR, which then talks to the MikroTik VPN, which gives the user who has an app on his phone the ability to do some things like this. Because it creates a tunnel, it's secure. He can actually check how much bandwidth a user is using. They can shut down a user, specific user, slow them down, put them on pause. They can be able to tell what devices are running in their network. And they're not at home. A very interesting story happened that he was grounding, his friend's daughter was grounded. And they took away their phones. You know how it goes there. Bring your phones, you can't be online all the time. Then, he found out that the daughter was not complaining. So he checked his app. And guess what? The daughter had borrowed a friend's phone. Clever child. But you see, it was not for long because he was able to see on the list of devices that there is a new device in the network of which he promptly shut down, which led to screams from upstairs. Dad! Yes. Now, if you are a geek and a father, this makes you something like God. You know? You are away in the office, and your kid decides to go to YouTube, and all of a sudden, it stops. They know you did something. They know you stopped them. And when you walk through the door, they'll talk very nicely to you. So basically, you can see the infrastructure behind the cloud. I've just used it as a simple illustration. They have apps. There's an iOS app. There is an Android app. As I shared with Mr. Ahura, this is the direction things are going. That you have a web application, people want it on their phones. They want it in a medium that they can carry, that they can control, that is safe. They know that they can let their children browse, but they're not seeing funny stuff. They know that they can control their access to the internet without offending them. Let them know that the internet is a resource that should be used well. And all that is coming from every single router that you have in your hands. This guy uses the Hap light. You've seen the image there. That's what he uses. It's a tiny device. We've seen one out there. Now, once we can make progress to see how we can bring that technology this way, definitely it would work on almost any MikroTik device by default. Okay, now, in my presentation, there was a case, and this one goes more to MikroTik's inventors. The case for a hardware cloud appliance. Because most of you are going to enter a society, and I like Mr. I forget his name. No? Behind. Yes. Mr. Moyes. Because Mr. Moyes demonstrated that it is possible if we took out the next destination where he was taking the data and put it in the cloud, his protocol would still work. Because it's going to be configured on a MikroTik router hosted virtually. We need to have end-to-end security. Yes, people say it's there, fine. But is it cloud-centric? We're still building firewalls. We need to add those features which cloud has brought into the world, so that what we apply on our on-premises router, those changes can be replicated on the cloud router. Secondly, we should move from being cloud ready, because right now, CCR is cloud ready, to being cloud native, which means that services and protocols built around those equipments. We should buy a router, we should get an app for it, we should get a through way to actually adopt cloud services from your router straight. It's interesting, I wrote this thing a long time ago, revamping proprietary protocols to cloud services. Moise talked about Ethernet over IP, our gentleman here talked about NV2, and we need to revamp those things. Normally we get used to them, and when we don't find them in another product, we slowly stop using them because they are only proprietary to MikroTik. We need to make them as the manufacturer. I'm talking to them now. Put those things into action. There should be an ability to schedule cloud services right out of the router. Because Amazon, for example, gives you security groups, and you can tie a product to its IP address, to its IPv6 address, to its MAC address, to its ports. Then you should be able to create a secure router, secure cloud router, straight out of the box, so that you can be able to run applications, send scripts for scheduling, like your LAN backup. You see, if MikroTik is a Swiss Army knife, it's time for that Swiss Army knife to get upgraded. Don't you think so? Or not? You're happy with what you've got? Hello, hey guys. It's the last leg. We are closing, we are in injury time right now. The whistle is about to go. We should develop MikroTik apps to leverage cloud clients like RD clients, key management, etc. Right now, if you go to Android, you will not find, you'll find the MikroTik app is in beta. And if you go to iOS, you'll have to buy some third-party app to manage your MikroTik devices. It's about time we made our own, as in MikroTik made its own apps. And then we should, by so doing, we'll be able to achieve the goal of rooting the world. Now, quickly, the title of my presentation was called Astute Tech. And astute means having or showing an ability to accurately assess situations or people and turn this to one's advantage. The cloud is there, and you people need to be astute in how you use it. Okay, so what do we do? What does RippleWave do? Well, I mean, apart from all those certifications, whatever, we have RippleWave as a project management site. RippleSouk is a cloud-based advertising service. It's your business in 5 steps. If you go to that site, you'll do it. You can geotag, put your products up. You can do everything in 5 steps. You don't need a host. You don't need whatever. You can buy your domain straight up. It costs about $100 a year. And the cool thing about it, it's cloud-based. And this is run off, not Amazon. So that doesn't say I don't play favorites. It's run off another cloud service provider called OVH. And they are very good at such things. RippleWave is a project management firm. Our logo, symptom, whatever, everything is a project. The next thing is that we have riziki.com, which is a hosting platform, whereby you have everything in one app. You know, you don't go to a guy, buy your domain, then go to a host, buy the space, and then go to another guy, download the app API for WordPress, for example, and then go somewhere else and download this. No. Once you set it up, it's in the cloud. You don't need to run updates again. You don't need to run query, what happened, which update, which plugin. Everything's built in for you to use. And lastly, we have RMM for the cloud, which is interesting because I wouldn't call that product that name. But anyway, there was space, so I had to put in something there. And like now, I have remote management for all my equipment, all in different flavors. I have Dude checking out my gateways. I have Komodo One, which is an MSP solution, checking all my devices. I have remote access to all of them. I can use TeamViewer, I can use Komodo One, I can do so many things. And yet I can sit here and manage effectively my entire network while I listen to all you good people telling me about your good experiences with MikroTik. That's the power of the cloud. Before I go to Q&A, there was a statement in the blue line says, build your biz and do some good. So, without further ado, questions. Build your business, do some good, yes? The name? It's called IRS. IRS.net. Any other question? Coffee, tea, drinks, wine, right behind there. I'm about to put the mic down and wish you guys a wonderful MUM meeting, and looking forward for them coming next year, isn't it? And maybe twice a year, so they should come around August when there's a migration so that they don't go anywhere. Tukitoka meeting to Apeleke National Park, isn't it? Yeah, I think we should give them a clap for hosting us and giving us a good day.